Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for confirming and very good evening to all of you. We can see that a lot of people are still joining. Let us get to know each other. I would like to request to do this through our Zoom meeting chat box so that we can see it. We can see our keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Mujahidul Islam Sir is present at the midst of us. Welcome, sir.
Right. Thank you very much, Satya. Assalamu alaikum and good evening to all of you. Thank you.
We are so much honored to have you among us, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Okay, then we shall begin. Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hoping that you all are staying safe and healthy in the midst of this pandemic. I'm your host for today. Let me introduce myself. I am Atia Binti Aziz, Chairperson, IEEE IAUC Student Branch WI Affinity Group, Vice Chair, IEEE IAUC Student Branch. So first of all, on behalf of our IEEE IAUC Student Branch WI Affinity Group, I would like to thank everyone here who joined us for today's session through Zoom. Let us begin today's educational webinar with the praise of the most merciful Almighty Allah. So for the recitation from Holy Quran, I would like to call upon Afia Zahin Muntaha on the mic.
Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. يا أيها الناس قد جاءتكم موعظة من ربكم شفاء لما في الصدور وهدى رحمة للمؤمنين. O mankind, there has come to you a direction from your Lord and a healing for the diseases in your hearts, and for those who believe, a guidance and a mercy. قل بفضل الله برحمته فبذلك فليفرحوا هو خير مما يجمعون. Say, in the bounty of Allah and in His mercy, in that we learn them rejoice, that is better than the wealth. قل أرأيتم ما أنزل الله لكم من رزق فجعلتم منها حراما وحلالا قل الله أذان لكم أم لا على الله تفترون. Say, have you considered the provision God has sent down on you, and you have made some of it lawful and some of it unlawful? Say, has God given you leave, or do you make laws of your own accord and attribute to your falseness? وَمَا ظَنَّ الَّذِينَ يَفْتَرُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ كَذِبًا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَذُو فَضْلٍ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ لَا يَشْكُرُونَ. What think those who invent lies against Allah of the day of judgment? Verily, Allah is full of bounty to mankind, but most of them are ungrateful. Surah Yunus, ayat 57 to 60. Sadaqallahul Aliyyul Azim.
Thank you so much, Afia Zahin Muntaha, General Member of IEEE IAUC Student Branch WI Affinity Group, for the mesmerizing recitation from the Holy Quran. Moving on. As we all may know, we are celebrating IEEE Day 2021 here in all organizational units of IEEE at IAUC. IEEE Day is the largest celebration held by IEEE worldwide. In celebration of IEEE Day this year, IEEE IAUC Student Branch, along with its affinity group and all chapters, have organized a series of 12 webinars, 5 contests, and 1 workshop under the title IEEE Day 2021, powered by Ulterior Engineering. Now, engraved in its essence, the IEEE Day 2021's theme is leveraging technology for a better tomorrow. While the world benefits from what's new, IEEE focuses on what's next. In this context, the topic of today's webinar is a journey towards industry and academia in the field of ICT, opportunities and challenges, organized by IEEE IAUC Student Branch, WIE Affinity Group, to educate us and hopefully to get us inspired to innovate and develop a career on the mentioned topic. We are hoping that our webinar has been glorified with the presence of our honorable chief guest, Professor Dr. Muhammad Humayun Kabir Sir, Treasurer, International Islamic University, Chittagong, guest of honor and speaker, Professor Dr. Celia Shahnaz Ma'am, Department of Tripoli, BUET, 2018, June 2021 Chair, IEEE Bangladesh Section Chair, IEEE SPS Women in Signal Processing Committee, and IEEE WI History Subcommittee. Keynote speaker, AKM Mujahidul Islam Sir, Doctor of Engineering, Chartered Engineering, Fellow IEB, Senior Member IEEE, Professor, Department of CSE, United International University, Sectoral Committee, Board of Accreditation for Engineering and Technical Education, BAETE, IE, Student Activity Coordinator, IEEE Bangladesh Section. Special guest and speaker, Dr. Sujata Chakravarti Ma'am, Professor and Head, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Head, Center for Data Science and Machine Learning, Centurion University of Technology and Management, Bhubaneswar, Odisha, India. Special guest, Mr. Tanvir Ahsan, Chairman, Department of CSE, International Islamic University, Chittagong. Session Chair, Dr. Engineer Abdul Qadir Muhammad Masoom, Associate Professor, Department of CSE, Award Coordinator, IEEE Computer Society Bangladesh Chapter, Counselor 2021, IEEE IAUC Student Branch. Honorable guests and speakers, it is truly a great honor and pleasure for our students and executives to have you here among us today. Before moving on, I would like to express our heartiest congratulations to Professor Dr. Celia Shahnaz, Department of Tripoli, BUET, for her historic victory as the IEEE Women in Engineering Committee Chair elect 2022. We are proud that you have received the recognition of your passion, enthusiasm, and dedication to the dissemination of technical knowledge for humanity with IEEE volunteering. Now to proceed, I would like to call our special guest, Mr. Tanvir Ahsan Sir, Chairman, Department of CSE, IAUC, International Islamic University, Chittagong, to convey the welcoming speech for our audience. Sir, please, may we please have you on mic?
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me into this program. First of all, I would like to thank our honorable guests who have come in our session. Professor Celia Shahnaz, I think he may be still yet to come. Professor AKM Mujahidul Islam, Professor Sujata Chaudhary. So from myself, I would like to thank them all. So IEEE is a great platform which gives opportunity to have the big people who are in a, important positions to meet with them, to exchange with them, and to get benefited from their insightful thoughts, understanding, knowledges. So, for example, we have among us Professor Celia Shahnaz, who have been elected in IEEE Women in Engineering Chair. So he has tirelessly given effort to make IEEE more active and more vibrant section. And I think it is a recognition that she has won as the chair of the Women in Engineering. And I think the members from us and from other universities who are the members of Women in Engineering, all of them may be proud of themselves and Professor Celia Shahnaz, because it is a recognition of of Women in Engineering section of IEEE of Bangladesh section, of course, under the leadership of Professor Celia Shanas. So we can all be proud. We are all proud of Professor Celia Shanas. And Professor Mujahid sir, he's the student activity coordinator. He is actually the guiding force of the student activities of IEEE student branch. So we are very fortunate to have him among us. So if I want to tell you a few words from today's topic, I think it is a very relevant and important topic. I'm telling this because we know that we are moving forward to a pedagogical what I can tell aspect or style, which we call OB, outcome-based education. So I think outcome-based education, the concept is a wrapper. Wrapper means it is actually which we see from outside that we are going towards the outcome-based education. And why we are going to outcomes education? Because it is a requirement or recommendation from Washington Accord. So I think it is a outer look. Outwardly, we see the outcome-based education, but inwardly, it is actually making the graduates ready for the industry. For example, previously, what we think that student will learn all the basics, all the theories, some practical things also, but it was not expected that they will be absolutely ready from day one for the industry. It is not possible actually. In reality, it's not possible that they will be absolutely ready, but to some extent they should be ready for the industry. It is desired. So outcome-based education, what we are talking about some outcomes. So what are those outcomes? The outcome is some skill sets, some knowledge, some attitudes, which students should demonstrate, which is required for a successful career in the industry, and students should demonstrate those, not in the industry but in the academia. When he is learning, when he's being assessed by the teachers or in the university, he will demonstrate that he or she has those skill set, those knowledge, those attitude he or she possesses. So he will demonstrate or she will demonstrate. Where he will demonstrate in the academia. So it is important to know that what industry wants, what industry demands. So that's why there is a need to bridge the gap, to narrow down the gaps between the industry and the academia. So I think Professor Mujahid Islam sir will, I think he's the right person to deal with these things, because he's a senior member of BIET, and he's actually evaluating other programs, whether they're performing good or not in terms of the requirement of accreditation. So, and obviously he's more knowledgeable and more accomplished in this sector, in this field. So I think we all are very fortunate to have him in our session, and I think we all, I mean, all means the students and the teachers also will be highly benefited, greatly benefited from his speech. So I hope we will patiently hear him and try to absorb the guidance he provides. And I'm sure you will be greatly benefited, inshallah. So with this wish, I am concluding here. Thank you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful speech.
Thank you so much to our chairman, sir, for his encouraging words. I would like to request at this point to our guest speakers, executives, participants to turn on the camera if possible so that we can save some screenshots as a memory of this event. I would request our publicity convener, Nazrana Mehzabin, to take screenshots. Nazrana, please tell us when you are done.
Screenshot taken.
Okay, thank you, Nazrana, and thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Tanvir sir, for your encouraging words. We hope that we have to move on to our session. It's time to hear from our keynote speaker and the attraction of the event. Our honorable keynote speaker, Professor Dr. A.K. Mujahidul Islam sir, Doctor of Engineering, Chartered Engineering, Fellow IEEE, Senior Member IEEE, Professor, Department of CSE, United International University, Sectorial Committee, Board of Accreditation for Engineering and Technical Education, BAETE, IEB, Student Activity Coordinator, IEEE Bangladesh Section. And in the meantime, if anyone from the audience has any question during the presentation, you can write it in the chat box for our honorable keynote speaker. Sir, the floor is yours. May we please have you on the mic?
All right, thank you, Ms. Atia. Could you please let me share my screen?
Definitely, sir. Sir, wait a minute. Let me make you our co-host.
Okay.
I'm extremely sorry I had to do it earlier.
I think I could share it, right? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Not yet, sir. Yes, sir. We can see it now.
So you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir. We can see your screen.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum and very good evening. সবাইকে শুভ সন্ধ্যা। আসসালামু আলাইকুম এবং অন্য ধর্মাবলম্বীদের আদাব। আমি প্রথমে ধন্যবাদ জানাই তানভীর স্যারকে ফর সুন্দর করে অ্যাড্রেস করার জন্য। ধন্যবাদ আমাকে সুন্দর করে অ্যাড্রেস করার জন্য। আতিয়াকে ধন্যবাদ জানাই। আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছিলাম এখানে আমার মনে হয় কারেন্ট মাস্টার্স স্টুডেন্ট ফারশিদকে দেখতে পাচ্ছি, who is a graduate of IIUC. Farshid, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just saw.
Yes.
I saw you in the participant list, and I was amazed. And of course, so Farshid is a current master's student of mine who is taking one of my course in this semester at UIU. Thank you very much for joining. And I know that he's a talented guy, and he's the first day when I was talking to him, I asked him the question, from where did you graduate? He said that I graduated from IIUC. So there is a very good team actually currently who are working with me at UIU in a master's program, and the whole team is from IIUC. So I see that it is. I know that IIUC, especially the CSE and IEEE program, they are producing some good graduates. So I have some good observation on that. So thank you very much for Farshid for joining this session.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir.
And actually, the title is changed, right, Atia? Okay, let me talk about the title. When Atia, she knocked me first, she contacted me first. She said, "Sir, could you please deliver a talk on IoT and cloud computing things?" I said, "Okay."
Right.
Okay, yeah, because I teach a master's program IoT and cloud computing, so I can manage some talk and can try to deliver. And then after a few days, Athiya said, "Sir," again called me, "Sir, I saw your profile, and then you have some good experiences uh, uh, being here and there. So why don't you share your experiences and among us?" I said, "Okay, Athiya, then." Let's make it Joga Khichuri. That's the term that I used, right, Athiya?
Right, sir. Now we are on a Joga Khichuri session, sir, with you. And it's a great privilege to have you.
So that's what I said, Athiya. And then immediately the title which came to my mind that, okay, in this Joga Khichuri session, I will not be focusing on research only or something, I mean, very heavy thing. Rather, maybe what I try to share based on her request, that I shall share my experiences, and along the way, I think some of the things may come, and I don't know whether I hope that it may benefit some of you. So it's kind of a kind of mixture of my own life in the industry, education, as well as academia. And when it's academia, you understand that it's research, it's professional engagement, and so and so. So that's how. And Athiya was also asking me, "Sir, whether it's going to be in Bengali." I said, "Okay, let's make it mixture of Bangla and English." That's what I said, right, Athiya?
Yes, sir. I remember that clearly.
The thing is, the reason why is actually I'm not an expert in Bengali language, as well as not an expert in English language as well. Why I'm telling so, I think you will understand why I am telling you so when you go through my slides. Some of the slides, you see my career, and then you will understand, oh, so I actually, at the end of the day, I'm master of none, okay? But I have some experiences of being here and there and work here and there. All right. So this is my village. This is my village from where actually I come. And it's a true village. It's middle of Padma river, actually. Although the name of the area is Upajala is Noria, but actually it's just here around, here, somewhere here. So it's the border of Munshiganj and end of Shariatpur and middle of the Padma river. So basically, it's by the side. I mean, it's an island kind of. You want to go there, you have to cross the river. You just cannot take the road and go there. So you have to cross the river and look. In this century also, we are crossing the river by boat. Of course, this is a very small, tiny one. Engine is there, so we need around 40 to 1 hour altogether to cross the river. 40 minutes to 1 hour. But if you take this kind of boat, we call it Rohingya boat. So then it will take 30 minutes. So when we are in a rush, actually, we call some relatives to my village. Please send me a Rohingya boat, and then they send the boat to us. Okay. So, and of course, you cannot. This boat cannot accommodate more than 5 or 6 persons. So if more than 5 or 6 persons, then you are in a trouble. So it's dangerous, especially when and also during the monsoon time. It's very dangerous to take these kind of boats because it's heavy current, and also there are some waves in the river. So আমার এইটা হচ্ছে এই যে দেখতে পাচ্ছেন this is my আমার গ্রামের বাড়ি, in fact, and actually I come from here, and you see there is only one tower. cellular network tower, Graminet tower, to cover actually 20,000 of people. And so that's why it's very difficult when I travel my village. Of course, you cannot get 3G, obviously. Very difficult to, unless you are very close to that tower. But even sometimes if you are far from that base station, actually, basically, then you may be in trouble because somebody may not get you. And we just got electricity this year. Can you believe that? So there was, I mean, there is a submarine cable actually who goes, which goes under this river, the Padma River, and now we have the electricity only starting from this year, early this year. So we got electricity. Now we have electricity in our village. So I am from there, that part of Shariatpur district. And then, but the thing is, I grown up in another area, and that is also part of Shariatpur district, but in another Upajala. So I'm going to tell you that one about as well. So this is the primary school. Actually, this is not exactly the same primary school where I went, but it got the same shape. Unfortunately, I could not collect the figure of my primary school. But in this area, actually, all the primary schools, the government primary schools, they have the same shape. That's why I just picked that one and put the name. So sorry. But during my time, during this period, it was not a building at the time. At the time, it was tin shed. Okay, very old tin shed, and even not cemented floor. So, but it changed a lot. This is my school where I did my schooling. I graduated from there, SSC. I completed my SSC from there. Now it's a government school, but at the time, during our time, it was just simple Damodar Muslim pilot Uccha Vidyalaya. It was, but now it became government. And this is the college. It's not that where I studied, rather actually where I spent my childhood. Okay, so the same. This is the first college of our Shariatpur district. Of course, this is very recent picture. It was also not that beautiful during that time. My father was actually was a principal of that college, founding principal. So he served around 33 years to that college. Actually, he has passed away. So and just behind the building, actually, during that time, it was it was only one-story building. Okay, so behind that we have there are some houses, and we lived there. So I spent my my young ages, child and young ages in that campus. And this is the man actually behind us, behind our family. Actually, my father. We follow him, and he's our hero. I mean, in our whole family. So of course, I miss him during my PhD. Actually, the final year, I lost him when I was in Japan. But after my SSC, yes, suddenly I jumped into Notre Dame College. So from where actually I did my HSC. So I spent 2 years here and lived just behind the college. There is an area called Arambagh. So yeah, of course, because we did not have any house in Dhaka, so we had to go to mass to share with my. During our time, during my time, আমরা দুইজন বন্ধু, আমি সায়েন্স থেকে আর আমার এক বন্ধু আর্টসে সে চান্স পেয়েছিল নটরডেম কলেজে। সো আমরা দুইজন আরামবাগে মেসে শেয়ার করেছিলাম। So it was very tough time, but we enjoyed a lot, and it was fantastic time. So after my HSC, actually, yeah, during that time, actually, my eldest sister, she was studying medicine in Russia. So wanted to follow her. And in 1993, I went to Moscow to study. I had the ambition that I will study aeronautical engineering. So I was targeting studying aeronautical engineering. And at the time, remember that in Bangladesh, I think there was no university who was providing that facilities. But there was a system like in Russia. If you go there, you just directly cannot enter to the university program. What you have to do is you have to go through some university foundation program. So 1-year program. So during that time, what you learn is you learn the language, because you don't know Russian language, you cannot move even. I mean, you are stuck. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to learn the language. Am I audible, by the way? Atia?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're perfectly audible. We are hearing perfectly.
Okay, great, great. Sometimes please knock if you do not hear me, okay?
Sure,
So that I know.
Yes, sir.
All right, great. So I went to Russia, and just I was telling that the 1 year you have to learn a few things there in this university foundation program. The first thing is that the Russian language, because their education system is completely in Russian language. You have to read, write, everything in Russian language only. So you have to be very much perfect in Russian language if you really want to study in Russia. So I did not study Russia on language before going there. So I had to do some foundation program. এবং ওই ফাউন্ডেশন প্রোগ্রামে চারটা সাবজেক্ট ছিল। একটা ছিল রাশিয়ান ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ থ্রুআউট দ্য ইয়ার, ফিজিক্স, ম্যাথস, ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং, ড্রয়িং। So physics, maths, engineering, drawing, and Russian language. So these 4 subjects that we had to complete successfully before we could enter to the university program. So a 1 year, but of course, you know that you go to a nice country, and the country actually where the winter turns into a nightmare, because suddenly the temperature in the evening drops to minus, and in the midnight you check and you find that -20, -25. Oh, so it was a great experience. But friends, you move out, you play with the snows, you know, that's a fantastic life. So you study, you enjoy. Great time that I spent. So 1 year successfully completed there, then moved to Ukraine, because my eldest sister actually she was studying in Ukraine at the time, medicine. So she said that, well, come to because at the time already the Soviet Union was separated, so 15 different states. So Moscow was part of Russia, and Kharkiv is part of Kharkiv, the city where I did my engineering studies. So it was it was under Ukraine. So my eldest sister, she said that, okay, come and join here. There is a very good university which is Kharkov National University of Radio Electronics. So you study there. I said that I came here to study you know, aeronautical engineering, but why you are calling me there? Because I knew that at the time there were two prominent aeronautical engineering providing universities, and Nure, which is at the time it was called Kire, is not one of them. But then my sister said, well, you are not going to study aeronautical engineering, because once you graduated, you go back home, then you have no job. So we had a lot of conversation, and then she said, okay, you study computer science and engineering. So finally she convinced me, and that's how I started my studies in the area of computer science and engineering in this university, which is Kure, but now it's termed Nure. So I completed there 5 years of studies, And at the time, actually, there was no BSc. They, after 5 years, they provide Master of Science in Engineering degree. So I completed 1999 and then come back home. But then after working few years in my country, I got an opportunity. I applied and got an opportunity to study in Japan under Japanese government scholarship, Monbushi scholarship, one of the prominent scholarships. So I was lucky enough, and then I got a position at NITEC, which is Nagoya Institute of Technology. It's third largest city in Japan. So, and this is a Nagoya Institute of Technology, which is basically providing technical education. So I spent my PhD period at that university. So that's my study period. That's where I have spent altogether. So then 1999, when I come back home, yeah, of course, you graduated, and now being the eldest son of your family, what you do is that you pay back to you think that now it's time to pay back to your family, right? Isn't it? So that's what I try to do. So I got an opportunity to work in a bank, actually, in 1999, November. I came back in July. And then in November, I joined First Security Bank Limited. Now, actually, it's First Security Islami Bank Limited. So I joined there in the IT division, although it's a bank, but I joined there as an IT professional there. And this actually helped me to get the job over there. So networking is the keyword, which helped me to get the job there. Okay. All right. Then in 2002, as I mentioned, আমি জাপানে যাই মনবুশি স্কলারশিপ নিয়ে PhD করতে. Then I complete my PhD in 2007 March. So 2007 March, in fact, আমি IBIS Incorporation, একটা কোম্পানি, জাপানিজ, আমার নাগোয়া সিটিতে, ওখানে আমি ওয়েব সিস্টেম ডেভেলপার হিসেবে জয়েন করি. So, and I spent there almost 1.5 years. So ওখানে আমাকে যেটা সবচেয়ে বেশি হেল্প করেছে, so the core knowledge that I gained, okay, the core basic understanding of our computer science and engineering subjects. So that helped me. And also one more thing helped me to get the job over there is alumni, because the owner of the job, owner of the company, was an alumni of NITEC, of Nagoya Institute of Technology. So somebody from my lab, actually, he was a PhD student, so Japanese, and he forwarded me to the owner of that company, and then actually through the interview process, and they have their own procedure, like written test and then interview procedure. I got the job over there. So two things helped me here: core knowledge and the strong alumni that we had during the time. Then after that, actually, yeah, here my role was a pure programmer. But here, you understand that in the bank, actually, my role was mixed. Okay, I was an IT technician, I was a banker, I was a network engineer, sometimes a little bit of programmer, you know. So it's a mixture of, it's kind of systems engineer. So you deal with everything when it was, and the bank actually established. I joined in November, and I think they also started in November. So it was a very, I mean, very early stage when I started working in that particular bank. So we had only one branch when I joined First Security Bank there. And this was also very small company. So my job was actually there as a programmer. So I worked as a web programmer there. So Java was the main language, the MySQL, okay, and Linux is the platform. So and Eclipse is the developing environment. So I'm talking about in 2007, 2008 during that time. So that was the environment that we had. So I worked there, but then I realized that programming maybe is not the area where I want to establish my career. So I was searching for a job as a network engineer. One of the main reasons is maybe because later on I'll show you that is that the research that I have conducted during my PhD period is actually in the area of wireless communication in the network field. So I had always in my mind that network is the area maybe where I would prefer. But when I joined IBIS, during that time, because you have graduated, you are graduating soon, you don't have much opportunities, you don't know how much to explore. Japan is a country where actually it's not that easy for the foreigner to get a job. Also, first thing is that there you need core knowledge. One more thing actually I think I forgot is the language. Language is the most important component here, especially for the foreigner. So you must have a very strong skill of Japanese language, otherwise nobody will hire you. So very unlikely, because if you want to work in a Japanese company, there are some foreign companies also who sometimes they hire foreigners if you have very good skill but not very good level of Japanese, still they can consider. But the thing is, my case was different because this was a pure 100% Japanese company, and when I joined, I joined this company. I was the first foreigner to that particular company, so I had to have a very good skill. Remember that I studied in Russia, so 6 years I studied in Russia, and I have. I felt that I have a very good, skill of catching up the language. So that's what I realized later on, actually. So, Alhamdulillah, I got. I was a very good and quick learner of languages. So I was a good. I could able to communicate in Russian very good. So when I went to Japan, I found the Japanese language is very important to understand the Japanese culture, because although during my PhD period, reading, writing, everything was in English, but again, when you are in a lab, actually, 90%, most of your colleagues are actually Japanese or Chinese. So you have to communicate, and also your professors are Japanese, of course. So you have to communicate them in Japanese language. So you must have a very good skill of Japanese language to make yourself understandable to others. So jodi Japanese language ওইভাবে জানা না থাকে তাহলে it may be very difficult. আর বাইরের, এটা তো ইউনিভার্সিটির মধ্যের কথা বললাম, ইভেন যদি আপনি ইউনিভার্সিটির বাইরে যান, ডেইলি লাইফে আপনি চলতেই পারবেন না। আপনি একটা দোকানে যাবেন, দে উইল নট আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড ইউ অ্যাট অল। সো আপনি যদি একটা জিনিস কিনতে যান, এবং আমরা যেহেতু মুসলিমরা জাপানে যাওয়া মানে হচ্ছে, আপনারা জানেন যে জাপানিজ কাঞ্জি ক্যারেক্টার গুলা, সো ওই ক্যারেক্টার গুলা আসলে বোঝা খুব ডিফিকাল্ট। সো ওই হালাল হারামের একটা বিষয় থাকে, কোন ফুডটা হালাল কোন ফুডটা হারাম, যেটা এখন হয়তো কম্পারেটিভলি অনেক ইজিয়ার, বাট ডিউরিং দ্যাট টাইম, আমি যখন 2002 থেকে ওই সময়কার কথা বলছি, ইট ওয়াজ নট দ্যাট ইজি। সো ওইটা আপনি বুঝতেই পারবেন না যে হয়তো একটা ফুডের মধ্যে অ্যালকোহল দেয়া আছে, একটা ফুডের মধ্যে বুতানিক, যেটা মানে পর্ক দেয়া আছে। সো ইউ হ্যাভ টু রিয়েলি কমিউনিকেট ওয়েল। So you feel forced so that actually you feel that you need to learn Japanese. আরেকটা জিনিস যেটা বললাম যে যেহেতু আমি রাশিয়াতে পড়াশোনা করেছি এবং ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজের প্রতি আমার একটা ফ্যাসিনেশন সামহাউ তৈরি হয়ে গিয়েছিল। সো দ্য ফার্স্ট থিং দ্যাট আই ডিড ইজ জাপানে যাওয়ার পরে আমি আমাদের পিএইচডি প্রোগ্রামটার মধ্যে ইনফ্যাক্ট 6 মাসের একটা ইন্টেন্সিভ একটা সময় ছিল, যেটা হচ্ছে আমরা সকাল 8টা থেকে 4:30 পর্যন্ত সারাদিন শুধুমাত্র জাপানিজ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে ক্লাস করতাম, জাপানিজ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ পড়তাম। সো দ্যাট হেল্পড মি আ লট টু বিল্ড মাই ফাউন্ডেশন, অ্যান্ড ওইটা আমি ক্যারি করেছি। আমি ওই ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজটাকে কখনোই ছাড়িনি। আমার থ্রু আউট মাই পিএইচডি পিরিয়ড আমি সপ্তাহে 2 দিন বা 3 দিন উইকেন্ডেও আমি জাপানিজ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ ক্লাসগুলো বিভিন্ন জায়গায় দেখতাম, যেখানে ভলান্টিয়ার্স ছিল তাদের মাধ্যমে আমি জাপানিজ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ ক্লাসগুলো কন্টিনিউ করেছি। সো দ্যাটস হাউ আফটার মাই পিএইচডি পিরিয়ড, in fact, I had a very good communication skill in Japanese language, even in reading and some of the cases of writing as well. At one point, আমি 1000 plus Japanese kanji character লিখতে পারতাম, পড়তে পারতাম প্রায় 1200 এর মতো। So that helped me a lot. And আমি পিএইচডি পিরিয়ডে ল্যাবের মধ্যে চেষ্টা করেছি যে আমার জাপানিজ কলিগদের সাথে জাপানিজ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে কমিউনিকেট করার জন্য, যাতে করে আমি আমার স্কিলটা ডেভেলপ করতে পারি। And that's how actually I also get to know their culture as well. So language is not a language, merely a language, but it's the whole culture. So that's what I got. So that helped me a lot. So language, communication skill, as well as the technical skill, that because this is as I said that our PhD area টা ছিল wireless communication, especially computer networks related. So that helped me to get the job in Connectivo, and also to that particular company I was the first foreigner. আমার পরে একজন আমেরিকান জয়েন করেছিল সেখানে। So and I spent there 1 year, and I moved to a company, and this was a multicultural environment to that particular company. So I joined there as a system engineer there to handle the whole system. It was a very small company, but they had their different kind of servers there, mail servers, web servers, database servers, and so on. So, and also they had their system, so upgrade the system, software system. So I managed the whole system there. I worked there until December 2010, because during that time actually something happened. End of 2009, one big team led by the Vice Chancellor of University Technology Malaysia, UTM, and the Pro Vice Chancellor and the registered key personnel, they went to Japan to recruit Japanese graduate for UTM, because at the time actually they are building an institute under UTM, and it was a G2G project between Malaysia and Japan. So the name of the institute was Malaysia Japan International Institute of Technology. So and so they went different parts of Japan to recruit us, to recruit, and then I was interviewed, and I got that opportunity. So before coming to that one, so in this Mehran Trading Corporation, where actually I got the job, and it also helped me because of my skill that I gained earlier, and also the confidence level that I gained. The confidence level that I gained to tackle a whole, although it was a very small company, they were actually dealing with car business. So manage their whole system alone. Actually, I got the confidence from my earlier job, and I got some skills in different areas. Remember that I got skills from the First Security Bank, where I had explored all of their areas, and as a programmer, later on as a network engineer, and now I got the confidence that I could manage many branches. So actually, I started work, and I started working there. So that was my story. Okay, so the keywords: networking helped me, core knowledge, alumni, strong alumni helped me, communication skills helped me, technical skills as well, and the last one is the confidence. When you grow, you work, you gain confidence. So actually, so you see that there are some key points that helped me a lot. Now the world has changed a lot. I was talking about 1999, 2002, 2005, 6. It's 2021, and the pandemic hit. So we are in a situation here. You know that once I got the call from Atya. Actually, I thought that, well, I don't have much knowledge on recent trends in the country. Then I started calling some of my good students who even got the job during the pandemic. So even yesterday and today, I was picking one of my RA, actually, who was working last year with me in one government's project, ICT Ministry's project. So, and another one is UI's project. So both of them actually got job during the pandemic, and they are doing very well. One graduated from UIU, the other one graduated from BRAC University. One with CGPA of 3.04. The other one is excellent because 3.97. After the discussion, actually, I summarized some of the things which was even a learning phase for me. So I think this is the slide, or this is the slide which is actually the summary of the findings. And I think it may help the recent graduates, those who are graduating soon, those who are looking for jobs. So I think how you need to prepare yourself towards the industry. Most of the time, good industries, they just call and hire. It doesn't happen. You have to go through few phases, 3-4 phases. Good companies, you have written test. Then you have to ইউনিভার্সিটিতে আমরা যেই কোর্স সাবজেক্টটা আপনাদেরকে পড়াচ্ছি সেই কোর্স সাবজেক্টের উপর ফোকাস করেন। এখন আমি যদি সিএসসি গ্রাজুয়েটের কথা বলি, অবভিয়াসলি কোর্স সাবজেক্টের কথা বলে প্রোগ্রামিং, স্ট্রাকচার্ড প্রোগ্রামিং বলেন, অবজেক্ট ওরিয়েন্টেড প্রোগ্রামিং বলেন, ডেটা স্ট্রাকচার, অ্যালগোরিদমস, অপারেটিং সিস্টেমস, নেটওয়ার্ক কোর্স অথবা ডেটা কমিউনিকেশন এন্ড নেটওয়ার্ক কোর্স, সামটাইমস database as well. So these are the core subjects that will create your basis, and you'll see যে আপনারা মোটামুটি যখন ভাইভা ফেস করতে যাবেন, whether in the industry, even in the academia also, basically all the questions will be what you have gone through during your university life. So core subjecটের উপরে ফোকাস করুন, and this is where, I mean, maybe during your studies there were some gaps, so you came closer to your graduation, or you have already graduated, so again just brush up them again and again. Okay, so I think this is the first thing, and this is the thing that is easy for you to do because you have already a subject already আপনাদের জানা. So, and this is the area, another area. If doesn't matter whether you want to be a programmer or not these days, but still you know, you have to go through some sort of written exams or MCQs or even in the interview questions. So they will check your knowledges and they will check your analytical skills. So programming skill is a must. Coding skill. You know that these days, আমরা তো জানলাম এই কিছুদিন আগেই তো আমাদের বুয়েট এবং ঢাকা ইউনিভার্সিটি না, স্পেশালি বুয়েট, তারা আমাদের আইসিপিসি তে মস্কো গিয়ে কত ভালো রেজাল্ট করলো, তাই না? ওয়ার্ল্ডের মধ্যে 28, ঢাকা ইউনিভার্সিটি, সো অনারারি মেনশন। ইউ সি, আমাদের দেশেও তো এনসিপিসি হয়, প্রোগ্রামিং কন্টেস্ট গুলো হচ্ছে বিভিন্ন বডি, ইউনিভার্সিটিতে প্রোগ্রামিং কন্টেস্ট গুলো হচ্ছে বিভিন্ন ইউনিভার্সিটিতে। সো প্লিজ পার্টিসিপেট দ্যাট ওয়ান। That's where actually you can build your skills. কারণ আপনি যখন প্রোগ্রামিং কন্টেস্টে যাবেন তখন ডেফিনেটলি you'll be trained, as well as you will put some extra efforts. You will go through some sort of sites to solve problems. For example, HackerRank, for example, Online Judge, for example, Code Forces, for example, to mention some. So go to and visit those sites and try to solve the problems. That will help you. That will surely not only will help you, in fact, if you can solve those problems, you'll see the problems that you will be facing during the exams or in the interview session actually you will see that these are the very familiar to you. So I think this is another area where you should focus. The first point was the core subject, master some of the core subjects in your area. The second one is the programming competition. Participate in that programming competition. You fail, doesn't matter. Again and again, try and try. They will see, the company, the industry these days, they see whether you are a quick learner, whether you have some innovative mind, whether you are active, whether you only chat with your computers or mobile phones, or also you go and go out to your friends, play cricket, football. So they will check also this one. So also suggest that please do that part. And most of the time when especially we talk to the employer, they say that the communication skill, our engineers, communication skill is very poor. Our speaking capability, as well as when even writing an email, we don't know how to write an email, short email in a professional way. And I see that sometimes some of my even senior students, they send an email without addressing dear sir, no subject. They just say, this is what happened, that's it. And no thank you, no sincerely, no name, no ID. So these are very small things, but this makes a lot of difference. When you write an email to the HR or to the recruiter and you do not address them properly, you cannot express yourself properly, then nobody is going to look at your email. They just throw that email to the garbage. So communication skill is a very important factor. Sometimes it's not that you need to be master in all these things. Sometimes you are master of something, you can overcome the other one. Sometimes people see, well, this guy has very good communication skill and the attitude is very smart, but it looks like he has some technical issues, gaps in technical knowledges and so on. Sometimes it can overcome that one. They can ignore you that part. So that's what I mean. Create a good CV, resume, portfolios, job search site. Go to these days, you know, I mean, unlike during our time, okay, these days, you know, but in Japan, what I did is yes, there were some job search sites. So I frequently visited the job search sites and then posted my CV and email them, message them. They had a portal during my time. So I used that platform during our time. No Facebook, no LinkedIn. The people were hiring through Facebook and LinkedIn. But these days, Facebook, LinkedIn, you see the posts, right? You go to the company's website, they post. And also there are some portal also available like BD Jobs also. Visit company's website frequently. Okay, target. And there was a suggestions. These are the suggestions that I get from my my former students actually who just got the job during the pandemic, and they and now they were suggesting, both of them, they were suggesting the same thing. Sir, please advise the fresh graduates not to join the startup companies easily. Ask them to target big companies, prepare themselves for that one, and then try for the big companies. Because when you go for the big, sometimes the people, they think, that's what they suggested me actually. They say that sometimes people or the students or the fresh graduates, they think that, okay, if I go to the যেটা আর কি কি যেন বললাম, যেটা নতুন কোম্পানি মানে রান করেছে, সো তাদের কোম্পানিতে গেলে মনে হয় অনেক কিছু শেখা যাবে। So but it end up actually working in very diverse topics, in diverse areas, which may hamper his career growth. But go to the big companies, there is a ladder, a clear ladder that they can see. So if you grow and there is a specific job that they can go through, so that will help their career. So again, the last point, which also helped me and also I think help you, is that the networking, the alumni, the friends, make good friends, make a strong alumni. That's why Professor Tanvir was pointing out one thing, that the accreditations thing, which is OB based accreditation thing. I'm not going through that part at all in my talk, but we always say that each university or each program must have a very strong alumni. This is one of the reasons, because we want to see where your graduates are going, and then if they are going to some good places, then why don't you call them and back and then make a connection with your current graduates, so that the current graduates, they can also get benefit out of that, or as a whole the program can get benefit out of that. So a strong alumni is a plus, is a bonus all the time. So make good friends, be good with your seniors, so that they recall you after 2-3 years. When you knock them, they immediately respond you. So be good with your senior brothers, senior sisters. These are some of the points actually. So these days world has become very challenging. That's why you have to go through so many things. But I believe you guys are smarter than us, so you can overcome all those things, and inshallah you can make a path towards the industry. Am I okay? Should I continue? Athiya, should I continue, or people are not bored?
No, sir,
yes.
we are not bored.
No, sir, not at all. You can continue.
Okay, all right, good. Then fine. All right. So yeah, I see that Professor Celia is also here.
Yes, sir. Our honorable guest of honor,
So,
Celia Shahnaz ma'am, and our honorable speaker, Sujata Chakraborty ma'am, is among us.
All right. So actually, we congratulated her in absence of her, but now we congratulate in front of everybody.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Claps for our ma'am.
Congratulations, Professor Celia.
Thank you very much.
A great victory for the country. All right, so now the next journey towards the academia. Some students, some graduates, actually, you also may choose another path. So I was focusing on the industry side. Now it's academia side. So I started my career in the industry once I finished my PhD, actually. And during the time, I already have my 6+ years of industrial experience in Bangladesh and also in Japan. So usually students, they graduate, they try for the academia, and then they join in the academia. That's fine. That's fine. But my career was a bit different. So I joined when I was in the industry, as I mentioned that in Japan, I got the opportunity to work in Malaysia. So I moved to Malaysia in January 2010. Sorry, there is a typo. It should be 2011, January. During my career, after that, actually, I got quite a number of publications, and some are still under review. Got some number of research grants, because once you are in the field of academia, it's not your job that you'll be teaching only. So you have different challenges. When you are working in the industry, actually, you have to develop some products so that product can be sold by your company, or that product can serve your clients. But now, basically, your job when you are in the academia, your first job is to produce a good graduates. So teaching is the core business all the time. So of course, you'll be teaching, first thing. But then you need to upgrade yourself so that you can deliver in the classroom in a proper manner, in the current state-of-the-art technologies that you can teach your students. So to do so, what you have to do is you have to regularly publish, actually, continuously. It should not be that way that, okay, I publish today and next 2 years, I just relax. You cannot do that. You don't have time. You just cannot afford that one. So you have to keep updating yourself. So you have to regularly publish. And you need the fuel for your publication. And from where do you get that fuel? Is the research grant, actually. You hunt for money. You apply for research grants. You get that grant, local, international. You get some fund, and then you buy equipments, you hire research students, you pay them, you work, you build a workforce for who actually will be working for you. Because you are senior, you know, that, for example, we are close to 50s now. I don't have that stamina which I had 20 years back. So I need some workforce, actually, who I shall be guiding from my experience, and they will be working for me. So you need that kind of workforce. And research grant actually helps you to do that. So this is one of the components that when you are in the academia. Then another thing is what you will be working, you'll be supervising students. Of course, if you in your country you are not in a big university to supervise PhDs, is not possible. But you can supervise undergrads, you can supervise master's students, and of course, if you have opportunities, you can supervise PhD graduates as well. And that helps, in fact, you to publish as well, to hunt for research grants as well. And to get, once you get the research grant, you can hire your PhD students also. Because if you do not have good grants, especially when you are working overseas, you know, the overseas universities, when you have very good fund, you can hire PhD students, and they can dedicate themselves for PhD studies as only. So that, I mean, vice versa. I mean, it both helps each other. So you'll be looking for some quality publications so that people cite your work, people acknowledge you. So you'll be looking. But there are a lot of components. So these are the components actually. So then you'll be looking for, oh, I need to increase my H index. I want that people cite my work. Okay. So, and then, you know, when you are talking about the publications these days in the academia, you'll be, maybe you students, you hear that you teachers will be telling you, oh, I don't want this publication because this work is not worth, because it may not be publishable in a Scopus Index journal or in a Web of Science Index or ISI Index journal. So try to improve your work. So that's how I started my career with UTM Malaysia. And there I work as a senior lecturer, which is actually assistant professor. And also I was an IT manager there. And then after coming back home, I started working at ULab. I was associate professor head there. So apart from teaching, I was responsible for managerial job as well. So until now, from October 2018, I'm with UIU as a professor. In the meantime, I also had opportunity to teach in the master's program, now also supervising some master's student at MIST. When you are in academia, apart from what I just showed you, you need something more. Professor Celia always mentioned that increase your visibility. So that this is the term I would like to use. So you need to increase your visibility. So how you do that? You engage yourself with some professional activities. So that's how actually I got the chartered engineer from UK. Well, when I joined UTM, they said that if you do not have chartered engineering certificate, then you cannot get promotion. So, well, but to do that, also you need some industry experiences and publication track and so on. So, Alhamdulillah, finally I got. I am a IEEE member since 2011. And in 2014, actually became senior member. Also fellow IAB, you know, that IEB Bangladesh, the IAB. So became the sectoral committee. I'm also very much engaged with accreditation, board of accreditations. So currently I'm a sectoral committee member for CSE program. So I am, and also visiting many universities. Even during this pandemic also, I was visiting 3 universities, accrediting their program as an evaluation team chair. Also, this year, elected as a student activity coordinator, IEEE Bangladesh section. I'm also taking care of UIU IEEE student branch. Also engaged with several international conferences. To mention some, I'm the general chair of International Conference on Bangabandhu and Digital Bangladesh, then technical program chair of ETCCE, and also the initiator and technical program chair of ICT. Last year you saw that 2020 also. So this is the academia. So what I want to summarize from here is that once you want to move towards academia, please bear in mind, you have to be engaged more or less with all these kind of things apart from your teaching. So you must have a good research track, and you have to have in your mind, I mean, আপনাদের মাইন্ডসেটটা ওইরকম থাকতে হবে যে আমরা আমি রিসার্চ ট্র্যাকে থাকবো, আমি রিসার্চ গ্রান্টের জন্য হান্ট করব, আমি প্রফেশনাল এঙ্গেজমেন্ট বিভিন্ন সোসাইটির সাথে নিজেকে এঙ্গেজ রাখবো এবং বিভিন্ন কনফারেন্স, ইভেন জার্নালের রিভিউয়ার, জার্নালের এডিটর, সো এগুলোর সাথে নিজেকে সবসময় আমি এঙ্গেজ রাখবো। সো you have to have that kind of mentality. So Atia, how much time do I have more?
Sir, I'm afraid we don't have much of the time. Maybe
Sorry?
you can continue for 10 minutes. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, audible.
Sir, it will be great if you can finish it within 10 to 15 minutes, if you don't mind, sir.
I see, understood. Okay, so now because I think now I'd like to share some of the work of my previous students. Okay, so and also some of the work that recently some of my students have done, so that you also understand what kind of work, especially the research work that we are doing at this moment. I think we all are more or less from ICT background, right? CSC background here.
Sir, both EEE and CSC.
Both CSC and EEE. So if EEE, then some of them are with communication background, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I just then I don't go in depth. I mean, deep e jabo na. I mean, just surface level e amar research worker summary just I'll try to present. It's in the area of wireless communication. I think you understand. So some of the understanding of algorithms, graph theory are needed a little bit. Those who actually work in this particular research area, which I'm going to show. Wireless sensor network. So just a brief idea about wireless sensor network. More or less we know it's a collection of transmitter receiver devices which has sensing capability, can compute, and also wireless communication capabilities it has. And they are tiny devices mostly and with limited resources, especially the battery power that we understand. So when these sensor nodes actually they are deployed physically, they form some sort of network. These links are wirelessly connected. These links dot are actually means that they are wirelessly connected with each other. And each of the node or the sensor nodes, which I mean, when I call nodes, it means sensor nodes. So each node they have some sort of range and can communicate only with the node actually which are within that range, within the range of each other. So for example, these two actually they can talk to each other, they can communicate with each other because they are within their range. So that's what I mean. There are some more terminology to understand this work is that the join and leave. Join is actually node moving, which means some node, actually sensor nodes, they connect, they come across other nodes and they establish a connectivity and they form the network. Leave, which is a node move out, they get out of the range of other node and then they get disconnected, for example. So that is node move out. And there are some operations also, crucial network operations, such as, for example, broadcasting means that you have a source node and you have some sort of source message, and that message maybe need to send to everybody to check whether all the devices are active or not, or whether all devices are properly working or not, for example. Gathering also sometimes, especially in wireless sensor network, data gathering is another important task. So excuse me, there are some sync nodes that actually connect the data from its surrounding area. So this is another crucial operation. Routing is very important operation because you have multiple paths, and when especially it's an ad hoc network, so the routes are not predefined. So you need to have the best route to send message from source node to some destination node. So best route, that doesn't mean that it has to be shortest path only, because there may be something happened with some of the nodes in the shortest path. So then you need to dynamically change the route. So you should have that kind of capability. So whatever it is, the establishing the route is another challenging task in such situation. So when we are talking about sensor networks, they can be represented using graphs. So for example, U, V, W, these are sensor nodes and they have their ranges. So if I draw them, if we actually convert them into graph, and this is the graph that we can see on our right-hand side. So when these sensors are deployed, there is no established structure. You see, there is no structure. So let's say that you want to send a message from this node to this node, or from this node to the rest of the new node in the network. Then you know that because of the collision and other factors, so it's a bit of challenging task. So that's how clustering, the structured hierarchical structure, it helps a lot. So I'll be moving towards one of our structure formation of architecture that actually is proposed by some of my students. So how did they do that? They defined the cluster as a star subgraph, where the center node has some special role called cluster head, and the rest of the nodes are connected to that particular node are called cluster member. Then these two clusters or the neighboring clusters, they will communicate with each other through some special node, and it will be called them as a gateway node. So gateway node actually are bridging between clusters. So once you have such kind of a structure, could be called as cluster-based architecture. And the cluster head and the gateway node could be called as backbone or communication highway. So look at the communication highway that we have established is that the rest of the node are connected somehow with that communication highway. So once communication occurs in the communication highway, the rest of the node or the devices can get benefit of it. And because of the nature of wireless sensor network, you know that they will be deployed in a large scale, hundreds, thousands. So the size of the communication highway becomes smaller, and the number of cluster heads or the cluster as a whole become also smaller. So that's what we have done in one of our work. So if you have that, you don't need to involve the rest of the nodes that are involved in highway with, excuse me, yeah, the node that are involved in the communication highway will be good enough to take your message to the rest or to another part of the area of the network. So look at then how we have, after establishing these, we have conducted the broadcasting using an Eulerian tool. So because of that, because of the wireless nature, when this node talks, its neighboring node will get the message. So being as a receiver mode, the member nodes can get the messages. So that's how we minimize the communication overhead or the communication cost. So this is one of the architecture as well as the protocols that we have proposes, as well as later on we have redefined the architecture and then establishes a route from some source node to the destination node using the architecture to establish a route. So we have concluded, we have established the routing path there. So to maintain the architecture also, we have then proposed some algorithms like node move in algorithm and node move out algorithm. So how a new node, when would like to join an existing architecture, so what are the procedures or what should be the way? So also we have joining algorithm also is being defined and been theoretically and through the simulation has been proven. For example, just to show that this becomes the member because it has a neighbor in its it has a cluster head in its neighbor. So when there is no cluster head, for example, look at that one, it becomes a cluster head at that point. When just it becomes, in this case, it becomes cluster head. Sorry, I mean, it should be red colored. But then for the leaving procedure, when, because we have a tree structure, if a node leaves, okay, and that node is part of the backbone tree, then the tree may be broken down. So there should be some readjustment. That's what we have also solved that problem using proposing some node move out algorithms. So this part actually move to this part, and once done, they actually the leaving node can leave the network. So this structuring is done. So that's one of the work. So this is just to show the summary of the results, some computational round, time complexity analysis that we have. And then later on, we have some other students also improve the work. So one PhD only concentrated on this one. So one PhD graduated just dealing with multiple join, multiple leave, multi-channel consideration. Another PhD actually, one of my student, he concentrated on nodes mobility, but in two scenarios, in a wireless sensor network and cognitive wireless sensor network. So we are coming to the cognitive network later on. And also one master's student graduated in secured dynamic cluster-based wireless sensor network. So these are some of the works that we have continued later on. So based on that particular work, later on another two more PhD students, they work on cognitive radio network, because we have seen there is some spectrum scarcity, especially you see that the chart in Malaysia, even if US, you see that all the spectrums are allocated. So how to best utilize your spectrum, because some of the spectrums are even underutilized. So cognitive radio actually plays a very important role there. So cognitive radio actually can sense, recognize operational and communication environment, and then dynamically it can adjust its operational parameters such as frequency, transmission power, data rates, and so on. So this is just a definition of cognitive radio network. So then, I'm sorry, I'm moving a bit fast because I guess I have how much time? 5 minutes more? Can I, Gab?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So so we have proposed a cluster-based architecture for cognitive radio network, where actually very similar what you have seen there. We introduced cluster head determination factor, some algorithmic and procedure to achieve that one. Then we also introduced some secondary cluster head. So if a cluster head, primary cluster head leaves, then the secondary cluster head can take care of that. So just steps, these are the steps that we have followed to achieve that one. Find spectrum sensing, using spectrum sensing mechanism, then determine accessible channel list, broadcast those to the neighbor, and from there we constructed bipartite graph, and then we constructed maximum age by click graph, and then based on that one we have calculated some CHDF value, which is cluster head determination factor value. So there we have chosen the cluster head and also secondary cluster head, and also finally the cluster who become the cluster member. So we followed the algorithmic procedure. So this is how actually we have come up with some of just the conclusion I show, that this is the cluster head and these are the neighbors. Forwarding node, basically the gateway node, which are connecting to cluster heads. And one more thing is that the secondary cluster head, so that if this one leaves, this cluster head can take care of that. So we minimizes the maintenance cost actually. And also we introduced or we redefined the join, which is node moving procedure algorithm for especially for this cognitive radio network, and also leave procedure or algorithm also we have developed. Then lately, actually, we have started working in the area of IoT machine learning, especially in the healthcare system. So some of our work has been done in the area of IoT machine learning driven cardiac status prediction system. So where we see the current status of some cardiac status of some patient. So whether it's good, bad, or whether it's how much it is affected or and so on. So we have produced some of the work, and then very lately during the pandemic, actually we have done some work with leukemia, blood cancer type. So there basically this is the work which has been presented last year in TenCon, leukemia detection mechanism through microscopic image and machine learning techniques. And then also another work that also we have done, it's currently ongoing to be finished soon, software-defined radio for disaster affected area and remote services. So previously you have seen that cognitive radio was, the work was fully theoretical computing science or communication, but we moved towards the implementation of that. So we purchased some USRP board, SDR board, and then we have implemented this one. Is the project is still running, and it's still it is under ICT Ministry's project. And actually, we were motivated by Fukushima crisis in Japan, which happened in 2011, the disaster. Not going through detail, and especially in the last pandemic. I mean, the last 2 years, 1.5 years. What we have done is we have done some, because you know you are at home. So what you do? We formed a research group. We have few fantastic team members. I have my very good friend and the head of the department, Professor Salekul, Dr. Shakkar, and Dr. Saddam. We have some fantastic team at UIU. Actually, we have started working on generating some good review papers, quality review papers, and these are some of the list actually So where actually we have worked on IoT machine learning driven healthcare system. This work already accepted and published in JNCA, and survey on federated learning, IEEE access, survey on blockchain, revision is in progress, survey on CRN tools, revision in progress. We got the review or comments, revision in progress, survey on cognitive COVID-19 review in progress, survey on smart parking, revision in progress, survey on 1G to 6G, and some more. So we actually, last 1.5 years, we focus on generating some very good survey paper. And I have some students also here, master's student. I was just mentioning Fakid and the team, they are also working on some review papers as well. So with that note, I think I took so much of your time, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Your session was too much informative and so insightful. I would like to request our participants to submit their questions in the chat box. As we have time limitation, we have to move our QA session in chat books. Apologies for that. Now, I would like to request our publicity convener, Nazrana Mihzabin, to share the token of appreciation on the screen. This token of appreciation that we would like to represent to our keynote speaker of the webinar, Professor Dr. A.K. Mujahidul Islam, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible. Thank you so much, sir, for your presence, support, cooperation, for managing time from your busy schedule, and most importantly, thank you so much for this insightful session. Now, moving on. As we know, we are celebrating IEEE Day 2021 here in all organizational units. I would like to express again our heartiest congratulations to Professor Dr. Celia Shahnaz once again for her historic victory as the IEEE Women in Engineering Committee Chair-elect 2022. We are proud that you have received the recognition of your passion, enthusiasm, and dedication to the dissemination of technical knowledge for humanity with IEEE volunteering, ma'am. Now, with delight, I would like to call Professor Dr. Celia Shahnaz, ma'am, Department of IEEE, BUET, 2018 to June 2021 Chair, IEEE Bangladesh Section, Chair, IEEE SPS Women in Signal Processing Committee and IEEE WI History Subcommittee to convey her insightful session on research and innovation to support SDGs. The floor is yours, ma'am. May we please have Professor Dr. Celia Shahnaz, ma'am, on mic. Ma'am cannot unmute. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, please try again. I have changed the settings.
Thank you, Atia, for inviting me, and I was listening to the presentation of Dr. Mujahid, and I'm enjoying the talk, but I had a whole day meeting. So thank you for your great initiative for celebrating IEEE Day. It's very important. IEEE Day is celebrating the technical contribution of IEEE volunteers. I will request you to invite our guest speaker, Dr. Sujata Chakraborty, first, because she may have other engagement. She has been waiting long. Sure, so once Dr. Sujata Chakraborty is done, then I will share my slides at the end, if you don't mind and if you allow me.
No. It's totally all right, ma'am. And thank you for the guideline.
Thank you for all the appreciation and creating this celebration banner. I'm truly grateful, and say my regards to the volunteer who has really done it, because we have to recognize every single volunteer for every single contribution. I'm really supporting your good thoughts. So I humbly request you to invite Dr. Sujata. She's a very accomplished researcher. Hope you will enjoy her talk.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much for your appreciation and guideline. Now moving on, the next dignity to honor us with her presence is our today's special guest and speaker, Dr. Sujata Chakraborty, Professor and Head, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Head Center of Data Science Machine Learning, Centurion University of Technology Management, Bhubaneswar, Odisha, India, who is going to conduct a session on AI in agriculture for our participants today. Now I would request Professor Dr. Sujata Chakraborty ma'am to start her wonderful session for us.
Thank you, Celia Madam, for the opportunity. Esteemed dignitaries, Professor Islam, Professor Kabir, Professor Tanvir Assam, Professor Masoom, and the Affinity Group, and my dear students. I am really very much thankful to the Celia Madam and other organizing team for inviting me to this program. So allow me to share the screen, please.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you share now?
Yes. Just a minute, please.
Okay, ma'am.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, your screen is visible.
Okay. Yeah, my topic is artificial intelligence in smart agriculture. The thing is that today's theme, that is a journey towards industry and academia in the field of information and technology, information and communication technology, opportunity and challenges. Yes, these both things are there in this ICT. So I want to tell about the agriculture, though it can be any software like healthcare system and your financial engineering. So many opportunities and many challenges are there, and in every sphere of life nowadays artificial intelligence are being used. So everywhere this some opportunities and some challenges are there. So I am focusing now in the particularly in the smart agriculture, the use of artificial intelligence. So this is the mainly smart agriculture refers to the technology like Internet of Things, sensors, location systems, robots, artificial intelligence, and machine learning on our farm. The ultimate goal is increasing the quality and quantity of the crops while optimizing the human labors. So this is the scenario of the you can tell the smart agriculture. So here when we are talking about the thinking about the global agriculture market, smart agriculture market, it is estimated to reach $20 billion by 2024. How it is possible? It is only through the agriculture it can be possible. Through the smart agriculture only it can be possible. You see the graph here. Every year, like from the 16 to 20, every year 14.1% growth will be there. Then only we can reach by 2020, that is at $20 billion. The agriculture industry will become more important than ever before in the new decades. The coming decades will see that. According to the United States Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, about 795 million people out of 7.3 billion people in the world are suffering from the chronic malnutrition. Almost all the hungry people, that means people, about 780 million people live in the developing countries, and 11 million people are living in the developed countries. So smart agriculture helps to guide action needed to transform the agriculture system to efficiently support the development and ensure the food security also. Smart farming has good potential to deliver more productive and sustainable agriculture products with resource efficient approach. So moreover, introduction of IoT, sensors, image processing, multispectral and hyperspectral imaging, drone technology, machine learning techniques have increased the quality, quantity, sustainability, and cost effectiveness of the agriculture products. So robotics and artificial intelligence and the automatic control at all levels of the agriculture have boosted the production in a great way. I can tell that. So here, when we are telling you about the opportunity and challenges, these all are the opportunities. Yes, some challenges are also there. some other opportunities are increasing the population and rising global demand for the food and technology advancement are supporting the growth of the global smart agriculture market. Increasing the need for automated farming techniques and the greenhouse agriculture also fuels the growth of the market. Rising awareness among farmers in the emerging economics and entry for new players would provide growth opportunity during the forecast period. But some challenges are there, which we in what way we can avoid these challenges also is a very, that means we have to think about it. The main challenge is lack of technical knowledge and high cost of smart devices, or the machine may hinder the growth of the market. We don't have that much capability to do the smart agriculture, and it may take the job of many small marginal farmers and the agricultural labor, because it is mainly smart agriculture. Mainly we can do if it is a contract farming or it is a big, that means big lands are or more lands are required when we are going for the smart agriculture. Otherwise, it will cost more on us or on the farmer, so that it is really a challenging task. So here we can see the different, like the mainly in when we are telling about the smart agriculture, the many aspects of the agriculture are there. Okay, from that, suppose I am concentrating on field monitoring, irrigation automation, smart analysis of the product and everything, and the disease prediction mainly. Okay, pest prediction also is there, but till now I have not done the pest prediction. I'll start it very soon for the BPH, because brown plant hopper is a main pest in rice plant, which generally takes lots of crop at the time of mainly this August, September, and like that. This is that. Then after that, the robots are also used to pick up the or harvesting the different fruits and the vegetables, and even if the crops also. This is the examples of the hydroponics vegetables garden, how the robots are being used. It is when the harvesting the corn also, how the robots are being used. These are there. And here mainly when we are telling about the smart agriculture, then that means in sitting in our home also, we can see or we can visualize that some pests are coming or some disease are coming into the field, so that we can automatically that means the camera or through the drone or even the simple camera can be used to see that whether the disease has come, whether the pest has come, because in the naked eyes we cannot see from the very beginning of the at the initial stage of attacking the pest or disease, we cannot see. So it is the RGB camera is being used to see that, more preferably if we are having the multispectral and hyperspectral cameras, where the bands are more, like in the multispectral camera we are having 20, 30 of bands are there, and in hyperspectral imaging, hyperspectral camera, it is having 200 something bands are there. When bands are more, the visibility of the small particles are more. So if we can afford it to see the things through drone or through the handhold also, then it is the very initial stage we can say that yes, the field is attacked by some pest or some diseases, so that we can easily manage that. We can throw the, if it is a very big land, then we can use the drone to apply the pesticides or the required pesticide, or if it is a small land, then we can do some other arrangements. Then comes that this is the picking of the apple and picking of the vegetables also. The drones are being used, and here you can see the automatic fired fruit pickers are there, and here here the robots are being used to see whether the fruits are in the stage of 100%, like it is already grown and already ripe 100% or 80%, 85% or 50%. That is also the system will decide that whether it is in the stage where we should harvest it or we should wait for things. That is also can be done through the system, through the sensors, through IoT. It is also possible. So here it is the general thing, but I have concentrated on some like rice disease detection, then here wheat disease detection, and also the cucumber disease detection. So when I'm concentrating on the rice disease detection, here many types of diseases are there, but I till now I did not get the data on other things. Only the bacterial leaf blight and the brown spot. These two diseases, the data set I am having. From some data sets I have collected from the internet sources, and some are from the fields also. Then this is the model. Generally, I have used the CNN model. I think all of you know it. CNN model is good for that. Means the feature selection also is inbuilt in on it, so we don't have to categorically select the features and fed into the system. Rather, it is automatically being done. Today, I cannot go deeper into it because time is 20 minutes. Time is given to me, so I think the detailed discussion I will not give today. So this is only the flow diagram, the data set. Then the augmentation of data set is sometimes needed because we have less number of data set, so we can have the augmentation. Then we are building the model, like splitting the data set into your training and testing. 70-30% generally I used to do. Then I use our model, CNN model. Then finally I classify that different two diseases, one healthy images and one, this is a test I have just started using HISPA, and as really let me successfully have done that. This is the what model, and this is your accuracy graph, and this is the loss graph, and this is in the bar chart. It is given that these are the different diseases, the accuracy graph. Then come the wheat diseases. In wheat diseases also, the two diseases like leaf rot and the stem rot, these two disease data set I am having. So others I am searching for that. Till now I have not got. So for that also I have used the CNN model here also. The different parameters are given here, and it is the accuracy graph and the model loss. Here also I have got the accuracy of 84% something. Then this is the cucumber disease. This is really, we have done it in a polyhouse and outside also. Okay, so inside the polyhouse we got the very good that means leaves as well as fruits, but outside the polyhouse it was not that much good. So these are the diseases, the name of the anthranos, and these are the name of the diseases, and it is the healthy leaf, and all are the then clomes and gray mold and powdery mildew. So these are the different diseases are there, and this is the healthy images is there. So it is the polyhouse which we have made, we have developed. That is inside the polyhouse, this is the scenario, but outside the polyhouse, this is the scenario. So we have got very good results inside the polyhouse because the temperature and everything are controlled. So it was the peak summer season, so it was very much controlled way. We got the things in a better way, but and the outside, though outside because it is not in the controlled way, so we did not get that much fruits. And these are the different sensors we have used in the field for the cucumber disease detection. Like the soil moisture sensor, temperature and humidity sensor, soil temperature sensor, the flow meter sensor, air quality sensor, and the light intensity sensors. So here also I have used the CNN model, and these are the model parameters. And here the accuracy graph for other model in the cucumber disease, CNN and the threefold cross validations CNN also have been used, and other architectures or other models are the inbuilt model which is there in the CNN. So I have used and compared it, and CNN is giving also the good accuracy, you can tell. So this is all about the opportunity in the smart agriculture. But at the same time, we have the challenges. I also don't know how to answer these challenges. The first challenges is the lack of technical knowledge, which I have told at the beginning, and the high cost of the smart devices. These are the main challenges of the small farmers and marginal farmers cannot afford that. Only the contract farmers, they can use all those the equipments, this type of equipment. That is one point. And another point is smart agriculture may take the job of many small marginal farmers and mainly the agricultural laborer also. Then the connectivity in rural areas, that is also a very big challenge. Rural areas generally connectivity are not good in India. Then the third challenge is, I can say that is the e-wastage. That is, the farms powered by the smart agriculture have done away with the problems of runoff, contamination, and the other channels of the ecological damages. So carbon dioxide emissions have been brought down significantly. That is all of us know it. So a new risk has cropped up in form of electric wastage, that is your e-wastage. So this is the mainly challenges. So this is from my side, and though I have only used only have shown the agriculture, but I have also done the things on the like IoT uses of IoT, using the IoT and sensors. Now the healthcare system, as well as some object detection also, object tracking and object detections. So I have not shown those things in the slides. So any questions from your side?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your endless gratitude for giving a wonderful session. I would like to request our participants to submit their questions in the chat box so that our speaker can see it, as we have time limitations. And if anyone want to raise a question, you can unmute, but we have to make it very short. Anyone? We already have a question in the chat box.
Yeah, I'll see.
Ma'am, there was a question. Is there any way to use machine learning for predicting the fertility of the land?
Yes, that is the soil fertility. We are the NPK value. Already we have done some work in the testing of the NPK value, and accordingly which land is suitable for which crop, that is also have been made, and also it is also possible. That is the testing of soil is a very again it is another big work also. Anybody can concentrate on that.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. There is another question: how to get over from the problem of data entangle and data shortage?
Data collection, you are telling?
Ma'am, they say how to get over from the problem of data entangle and data shortage.
Data shortage only can be overcome by the augmentation technique. If you have lesser number of data, machine learning needs always huge amount of data. If we are having shortage of data, then we can go for different 22 types of augmentation techniques are there. You can use augmentation technique for that. And collecting the data through the sensors, it will go to the cloud, and from there only we are analyzing the data for the different purpose.
Okay, one last question we are taking. Honorable ma'am, I want to know if using smart devices is feasible in larger scale. What about initial investments?
That depends upon what type of things you are going to do. Like it is automatic or semi-automatic. Smart agriculture always not. When we are telling about the smart agriculture, that in the bed itself or in the room itself, we can see everything and we can do accordingly. But that is not possible. That is very costly affair. So what type of automatic things you are going to do, like automatic harvesting or automatic pesticides, giving the pesticide, or automatic water management system. So what type of things you are planning, accordingly the expenditure will be set.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think our participants learned a lot from this session. Now I'd like to request our publicity convener, Nazrana Mehzabi, to share the token of appreciation on the screen. This is the token of appreciation that we would like to represent to our special guest and speaker of the event, Dr. Sujata Chakraborty ma'am.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your presence and cooperation and for managing time from your busy schedule. And most importantly, thank you for this wonderful session.
Actually,
we are hoping to see.
Actually, sorry for that. I'm having a meeting on 9:15. So I'm very much thankful to Celia madam. At least I could attend the meeting and I could do the meeting also. Thank you very much. And thank you all.
So thank you so much.
Can I leave?
Yes, ma'am. You can leave, and thank you so much.
Dr. Sujata, it was a wonderful talk. So, Atya, do you want to have a group photo?
Yes, ma'am. I was about to say
better to take a group photo.
Yes. Before Sujata ma'am leaves, I would like to request our audience and all the participants, executives, and guests to unmute and to open to share their video so that we can have a screenshot as a memory of our event. Everyone can see. And I
some issues are there on my video. I don't know what is the problem.
Okay, ma'am. Whatever. Let's have a screenshot to share.
No problem, Dr. Sujata. You just remain.
My vision is like
Mujahid, Dr. Mujahid is there, no?
Our working to share like
screenshot taken.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sujata ma'am, for your contribution.
Thank you all. Once again, thank you, Celia madam. I'm leaving. Good night and have a happy
the student branch can connect you later for a longer talk. Okay. Atya, so you have taken the photo, right?
Yes, ma'am. We have taken the photo.
I was moving here and there. You can just take. I was just moving. You can take another.
Okay. We can take another one. Sure, ma'am. Why not?
I could not realize.
No, it's okay. Nazrana, please take it once again.
Okay. Cheese. Thank you.
Are we there?
Thank you so much, Nazrana. And thank you so much, Sujata ma'am. Thank you so much, Celia.
Please share this photograph.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Happy Dasara to all. Good night.
Good night, ma'am.
Because their puja has been started already.
Yes, ma'am. We can acknowledge that.
And that's the dedication. On the Eid day, we don't. that's the commitment, you see.
Yes, even during the celebration.
Yes. That's the commitment to IEEE and to technical community.
Yes, ma'am. Now, as we know, we are celebrating IEEE Day 2021 here in all organizational units of IEEE IUC student branch, which includes 4 societies and 1 affinity group. IEEE Day is the largest celebration held by IEEE worldwide. In celebration of the day, this year, IEEE IUC student branch, including its affinity group and all societies, have organized 5 contests, 12 webinars, and 1 workshop under the title IEEE Day 2021, powered by Ulterior Engineering. Now let's have an overview of our ongoing contest for IEEE Day 2021. I would request our publicity convener, Nazrana, to share her screen so that we can see the posters. Just a quick glance, Nazrana. Nazrana, can you hear me?
Yes, Apu.
Please share your screen so that we can have a quick glance of our contest. This is IEEE Day 2021, powered by Ulterior Engineering, IEEE Day Ideathon 2021, which is combined with idea generation and hackathon, deadline of which is extended till 11th October 12 p.m. And we have photography contest, which is, Nazrana, you have to hold it a little bit longer. I have to explain it. Photography contest, which have prize pool of BDT 1500, and result publication is 16th October and submission deadline is 12th October 2021. Next, we have poster presentation contest whose deadline is 15th October 2021, and we have prize pool of BDT 6,000 taka for this. Next. We have content writing competition, which is free of registration fee, which has prize money is BDT 500 taka. Submission deadline is 14th October 2021 at 6 p.m. Ideathon, we have prototype development and presentation for 15th October 2021. Thank you so much, Nazrana. Now, I would like to request our participants to fill out the feedback form, which has been dropped in the chat box, to receive their participation certificate.
Atia, I have something to share very quickly.
Yes, ma'am. Sure,
yes. So do you want, because I was supposed to join earlier. So do you want to show something? Then I will share my slides, or what you want to do?
Ma'am, we were about to give you floor so that you can present.
Okay, you finish yours.
Yes, ma'am. I am almost finished. Now I'm giving you floor. Now, with delight, I would like to call Professor Dr. Celia Sharnaz, ma'am, Department of IEEE, BUET, 2018 to June 2021 Chair, IEEE Bangladesh Section Chair, IEEE SPS Women in Signal Processing Committee, and IEEE WI History Subcommittee, to convey her insightful session on research and innovation to support SDGs. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you, Atia. It's a good initiative. I'm really proud to see the initiatives you are taking for IEEE Day. Actually, Bangladesh section has a rich heritage of celebrating IEEE Day every year. Last year, we did a 5-day celebration from IEEE Bangladesh section when I was chair. One day was dedicated for section, one day was dedicated for society chapters, one day was dedicated for student branch, another for WIE and WA student branch, another day was technical student branch society chapters. And that's a new concept that we did last year in IEEE Bangladesh section. And many sections around the world this year are following that. So but today I'm so impressed to see the initiatives you are doing to celebrate IEEE Day for engaging members. That's creating value to your members' life. So let me share my screen very quickly. Let me share it. Yes. Hope is visible to you.
Yes, ma'am, your screen is visible to us.
Yeah. So I'll be very quick, because we have listened to Dr. Mujahid's impactful talk, the journey to academia and industry, and what was important for me, that Dr. Sujata, who is a very good researcher and interesting researcher, and that can be implemented also in Bangladesh, right? ICT in agriculture, AI in agriculture. Many of the research are very relevant to us. So I like to thank the volunteer first who has created this banner. A very good banner that he or she has
Ma'am, actually, she's present among us. It's Nazrana Mehzabin.
Oh, Mehzabin. It's wonderful. It's important, You have a very good sons. So this is my brief bio. I request you to visit my Google Scholar citations and also my website, www.celiashanas.com. To know about me, and most important, what is important. I know that your technical society student branch chapters are working together with student branches, WI together. So it is important for every member to be part of one technical society at least, as per your interest. I request you to visit my Google Scholar citations. Not just to know what is my citations. It's important to know the fight. You cannot just, I just do any fabrication to increase my citations. Many people may do it. What's important, do some impactful research which has been utilized and cited by others. I request you to visit my Google Scholar citations and let me know how I can do collaboration with you, how I can collaborate with your professors. You can choose a topic. Okay. And this is actually, I believe in power of networking. The second picture in the right side is an IEEE Delhi celebration human chain by our Women in Engineering Affinity Group led by me. So, you know, it was so innovative and people liked it and they started to follow it. Many sections, women in engineering around the world, they started to do such human chain for IEEE Day by Women in Engineering Affinity Group. And in the right side, left side below, I have the technical society involvement, starting from Women in Engineering, SPS, Signal Processing. You know, Signal Processing Society has only $1, and now IEEE Day is going. And it has a 50% reduction in membership benefit. So I will request Atya to look into it, and the student branch chair, if he is present here. So, and also Arafat, Mushfiq, the IEEE Day ambassador, please look into it. If you are a student member, and now if $1 and 50% reduction, that is $0.5. If you need any help, let me know. But still take the opportunity. You know, it's an opportunity, membership opportunity. We cannot go to a society where there is huge fee and we cannot see the benefit. Now here is a society which is giving a $0.5 membership fee for the student. And fortunately, I'm serving as chair of Signal Processing Society, Women in Signals Processing for the whole world. So we should not start from the scratch. Since I'm there, and I appeal you to take the opportunity, right?
Sure, ma'am.
We should build up. We should build up on the opportunities that has been created by the grace of Almighty. Allah has given me the opportunity because of my hard work, right? Now, my students in whole Bangladesh should take the momentum of that opportunity and build upon that rather than starting from the scratch. It's a generation benefit. So I appeal you so that you can also take this opportunity. Also, there are many other technical societies like Industrial Application Society. And the first year is $0. Power and Energy Society, first year $0. Industrial Electronics Society, IES, first year $0. Why not? IIUC will take the opportunity to take benefit from those societies, right? With $0.
Sure.
You know, this is the information. My job is always give information, what I know. Whenever I get opportunity, I just expose and give opportunities and share information to everyone in the ocean of information. Now it is your turn whether you will take the opportunity or not. And one of the important things is that I always connect my research with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We have 17 Sustainable Development Goals, right?
Yes.
Smart cities and communities. Smart cities, community, ICT is main important thing. And also equal opportunity, quality education, affordable clean energy. Now it is COVID. You do not need a PhD to just design an automatic hand sanitizer. You can start doing it. How? Why? Because it's a technology by which you can solve the community problem. And you can deploy with the help of your university this automatic hand sanitizer to the hill tracks area where it is really needed, right, Atya? And this is one of my papers that has been highly cited, denoising of ECG signals, more than 352 citations. And this is one paper that has been published in IEEE Transactions, speech estimation from noisy speech. Another is speech enhancement for hearing aid devices that has been also published in IEEE Transaction. And my students was doing very good job in designing deep neural network like since many people think that deep neural network is just for computer scientists, but I'm from a IEEE department, right? And deep learning is nothing but a tool. AI is a tool. So you can apply it for speech, image, video, power signals, biomedical signals. Similarly, I have exploited this capsule network for abnormality detection of musculoskeletal radiographs. You may say, why musculoskeletal radiographs? Because 1.7 billion people are suffering from musculoskeletal radiographs. So we need to do something to automate the process for abnormality detection, okay? And many of our women, since I have visited many rural parts of Bangladesh for IEEE activities and many rural parts of India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, I have seen our women are suffering from skin cancer. So these are digital images. So you can apply deep learning to really find the region of interest. And from the region of interest, one you can find and segment it. You can get what type of skin cancer it is. And one day you can transform the whole thing into apps so that it's accessible by all doctors, all patients, even if they are staying in the rural community. I was doing tuberculosis detection from chest radiogram. Do you see the X-ray images? We're using, actually, I'm deprived of sleep for many months, and I'm doing meeting from till morning. Sorry for my lousy response. DenseNet, ResNet, Inception, Phase 3, ensemble of deep learning methods. And also you can do an ensemble of machine learning approaches to get a better detection for tuberculosis. And this has been published in IEEE Access, and that COVID came. And that became a curse to many of us. But I engaged my student to transform this curse into power of knowledge dissemination. They started to deal with different imaging techniques like X-ray images, ultrasound images, CT images. They started comparing different imaging techniques and which technique is the best one for COVID-19 detection. And finally, they come up with a very good artificial intelligence-based deep learning network to detect COVID-19 for multimodal images. And recently that has been published in IEEE Transactions on Artificial Intelligence. So these are good examples for you. I request you to visit my Google Scholar citations, read those papers, and come up with the possible collaboration, connecting your professor with myself. Hope the capsule network that we have already developed can be applied to your signals. Maybe you are handling some other biomedical signals, but the capsule network that has been developed by my students can be applicable there, and it will reduce your time, and we can have a joint paper, which is very important. Inter-university collaboration is very important. And let me tell you about Signal Processing Cup competition, SP Cup competition, VIP Cup competition, Video Image Processing Cup competition. And in SP Cup competition 2020, my team ranked 4th. VIP Cup competition, my team was ranked 5th by the grace of Almighty. And in 2015, my team was again ranked 5th, and they were very upset. But I told them, don't be upset, let us publish papers. Nobody was thought about publishing papers for the competition, but we published 3 papers, 3 journal papers. And that has given an opportunity for my PhD student who got admission in University of California, Riverside at USA, and Princeton University, USA. And that's the benefit of participating in the world-class competition where you can apply your technical knowledge, you can improve your coding skill, and you can publish papers, which is very important. And most important thing, Adya, there are very few female students and very few female supervisors. So I really felt it. And so I inspire you, don't get fear, part of the signal processing society, part of the machine learning, deep learning, and embrace yourself with that competition so that you can know emerging topics in the field. And since I'm also the founder of Robotics and Automation Society Bangladesh chapter, and we are at this moment thinking about really training about to students about building disinfection robots so that those robots can be used in your campus. And also let me tell you about IEEE Humanitarian Activity Committee where you can apply for fund. We have got Bangladesh section has got a lot of funds from IEEE Humanitarian Activity Committee. IIUC can jointly collaborate with Bangladesh section and can apply for funds. This is Region 10 Humanitarian Technology Conference. Bangladesh section was organizer. So I was general co-chair, where a lot of work related to ICT were presented targeting humanitarian technology. And this is also an engineering track at HTC 2019 Indonesia, where I provided a talk to train women for advancing sustainable green technologies for humanities. And, you know, I also collaborate with one of the oldest society, IEEE Society, their flagship conference, where I organized a women in engineering panel to know the good practices of women from Africa, Australia, America. Also, just for your knowledge, ISTAS is a flagship conference of SSIT. GHTC is another flagship conference where you can connect papers related to SDG. Okay, GHTC every year in San Jose. So I read I had regular papers in GHTC, and also I ran a Women in Engineering panel to know about the great good practices of researchers in humanitarian technology from Region 6, Region 7, and other women. This is Wiconis. I appeal you to publish papers here. It was the first Women in Engineering conference in the area of electrical and computer engineering. For the first time in the history, I was a founder. And the next stage is between Bangladesh and Pune, Bangladesh and Uttar Pradesh, Bangladesh and Thailand, Bangladesh and Bangalore, Bangladesh and Bhubaneswar, and deadline is coming for 2021. I request IIUC final year students to submit papers there. And also Women in Engineering International Leadership Summit. Only 10 sections get this opportunity. Bangladesh was one of them. We didn't teach only leadership. We talked about nuclear power energy education because our country is investing too much money in it and our women should be prepared for that. And this is Region 10 Dance in 2020. This is the second largest flagship conference of Region 10, where everything was closed as a general chair. I inspired my volunteers that we cannot stop it. Show must go on for timely dissemination of knowledge. And we handle more than 1,000 papers. Many students like you participated. My message is participate in big events. Section has organized more than 130 virtual events in pandemic 2020. Please join there. And you will learn a lot. Your life will be reshaped. It's the opportunities. Many keynote speakers are coming. You know, many invited speakers are coming. Industry experts are coming. Toshio Fukuda, who was the 2020 IEEE president, was the chief guest. We also did International COVID-19 Congress, where more than 400 people joined. And also, IEEE President Toshio Fukuda was chief guest. And recently we did IEEE International Women in Engineering COVID-19 Congress. You know, week of 20, it was created so much impact, research, innovation, work-life balance during COVID-19. More than 35 speakers all around the world, women speakers, it was an amazing story. And these are some of my awards. I got those awards. Now it is your turn. You utilize the momentum that has been created by me, by given opportunity by Almighty. Now your turn to get yourself ready for those awards. 2013 Women in Engineering Professional Volunteer Award from Region 10, highest honor from Region 10 for a woman. 2015 Women in Engineering Inspiring Member Award from Global WI is the highest honor from Global WI. 2016 MGL Leadership Award for contribution in section, region, and globe. 2019 Region 10 Humanitarian Activities Outstanding Volunteer Award, And also WI Act section becomes the best section in the Region 10, best in the whole world. WA student branch will become the best section, best student branch in Region 10 and best in the whole world. Now, I must tell you why IIUC cannot do it. When I did it, I started from the scratch, no resources. Now, the resources are already there. You will just reach out to me. I'm a very inclusive person. I'm there to support you so that you can be the next award winner. I will be prouder than ever. And as a first female chair, I had to in 25 years history, I had the opportunity to take this 25 year celebration banner from MGA, from Kugzin, Professor Kugzin, who is Region 10 director at that time. And that inspired me a lot. I worked so hard to run or lead activities in section so that I helped my section to win 2018 IEEE MG Outstanding Large Section Award. That is the highest honor for the section. We designed so many conferences, so many technical activities, women in engineering, young professional, industry, entrepreneurial, student activity, humanitarian activity, educational activity, so many activities. And it is a great honor to receive awards for my mentees. Best WA student branch, best Region 10 outstanding volunteer, best Region 10 young professional from Jose Mura, IEEE President 2019, Toshi Fukuda, President 2020, and all regional directors. My question is why we will do research in technical activities? Because our Engineering Medicine Biology Society chapter, for which I am the chair, has received 2020 IEEE MBS Regional Outstanding Chapter Award. And only 2 chapters received it in the whole world. Why you will do chapter? Why you will do technical activity? Just to increase so many members, just to increase number of society chapters in every student branches? No. To receive benefit and to create platform for recognition and to bring recognition for the country, for the future generation, so that it becomes easier for the future generation. And our chapter got this, only 2 got this opportunity, one from Region 10, Bangladesh, one from Argentina. Have you seen how we have worked hard to increase the visibility of Bangladesh researchers to the rest of the world? It was a huge fight, huge uphill battle, huge hard work. And also Signal Processing Society, for which I am the founder, that got chapter certification very quickly as a young chapter, and it has been published in newsletter. This is the reason why you will do the chapter activity, just not to have membership. So these are 2 opportunities I'm sharing with you. So if you apply for Signal Processing Student Month chapter, you will get chapter benefits. You will get the opportunity to organize winter school. BUET SPS has organized winter school in 2019. Again, $5,000 they have got, $5,000. Again, they have applied and they have again got the opportunity to go to the winter school. Why not IIUC student-run chapters? I will share the proposal with you. So it is very important to give minimum fee to IEEE to get more benefits. So 0.5 US dollar SPS, getting $5,000 by writing proposal. It is important. It is significant, okay? So I'm really thankful for your prayers, for your support. Almighty Allah has given me opportunity to work so hard for this Bangladesh, for spreading IEEE in Bangladesh, to promoting IEEE activities in Bangladesh, inspiring you all to involve and engage in meaningful activities. But I had to run a very strong fight, an uphill battle, staying in Bangladesh, because I'm not staying in the United States, right? I'm staying in Bangladesh, and staying in Bangladesh, doing interfactory and running a global election for 10 IEEE region was impossible, many have said. So we made that impossible possible with your support, student like you, with your prayers. Now we have to take the opportunity. We have to take this honor, and we have to scale up all opportunities. And I assure you that I will be always with you whenever you want to get any opportunity. Allah Almighty has given this opportunity to work hard for last 21 years. And I could raise the visibility of IEEE Bangladesh to the rest of the world. Now it is your turn to collaborate with me. It is my turn to help you so that your fight and your challenge becomes lesser. Thank you very much. We can change the world, and as we are engineers. I know you are doing an amazing job. I'm offering my help. Together, we can always grow better. And if we don't collaborate, we'll be broken into pieces, and we have to start from the scratch. We don't want to do it. We want to raise the honor of Bangladesh more, and you are already doing that. Only thing, I will always request you for collaboration. I will always request you for any confusion, for any help, reach out to me. I will be happy to help you. Thank you, Atia. I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful session, and thank you so much for your appreciation. We can see you are already so much exhausted, and yet you managed to conduct a perfect session for us. And we are really grateful for this. Now, I would like to request our participants to submit their questions in the chat box if they have any, so that our speaker can see it, or you can unmute yourselves to ask your questions.
It's a wonderful crest design. I really loved the designs.
Ma'am, earlier I have made a mistake, I have to admit. I would like to mention again that the poster of today's webinar was made by both Tasnim Begum Sriti and Nazrana Mehzabin. Both are our designer, and I forgot to mention Sriti's name earlier. Apologies for that, Sriti.
No, it's all right. Thank you so much.
Tasnim, Sriti, you are doing wonderful job, and no job is insignificant. Every job is so important.
And our executives,
thank you, ma'am.
Our executives are collaborating so much. They're giving their best to conduct these 16 days long IEEE celebration. And
don't forget to report it. Don't forget to send it to the Region 10 newsletter.
Sure.
Don't forget to send it to any newsletter. If you need any information, just let me know. It is important to make Bangladeshi volunteers visible. I had to do a very hard work. So now you need to make it, you need to retain it. That is my request.
Thank you so much for your support and your cooperation, and for managing time from your so much busy schedule. And most importantly, thank you for this wonderful session. Now, with delight, I would like to call our session chair, Dr. Engineer Abdul Qadir Muhammad Masum Sir, Associate Professor, Department of CSE, International Islamic University, Chittagong, Award Coordinator, IEEE Computer Society, Bangladesh Chapter, Council of 2021, IEEE IEC Student Branch. sir. May we please have you on mic?
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're perfectly audible.
Okay. Thank you, Atia, for inviting me. Good evening, everyone. My warm congratulations to all the honorable guests, the respected faculty members, and my beloved students. As Counselor of IEEE IIC Student Branch, I am grateful to IIC Authority for their continuous cooperation to implement such programs successfully with logistical and financial support. Definitely, our guest of honor, Professor Dr. Celia Shahna's presence has enhanced the beauty of today's program. She is a professor of Department of IEEE BUET. I would like to inform our audience that Dr. Celia Shahnas is the first Bangladeshi elected chair of IEEE Women in Engineering Committee 2020. So our heartfelt congratulations to dear Celia ma'am for her historical victory. Undoubtedly, she is a beacon of inspiration for Bangladeshi female students and professionals. Today, we have a foreign speaker as a special guest, Professor Dr. Sujata Chakraborty, Head Department of CSC at Centurion University of Technology and Management, India, from India. She is also head of a Center for Data Science and Machine Learning of same university. We have enjoyed her thoughtful lecture on artificial intelligence in agriculture. We know that artificial intelligence holds the promises of driving an agricultural regulation at a time when the world must produce more food using fewer resources. So we can conclude that artificial intelligence facilitates more sustainable farming. Today's keynote speaker of the webinar is Professor Dr. A.K.M. Mujahidul Islam. He is from Department of CSC, United International University. He is also a student activity coordinator of IEEE Bangladesh section 2021. Today, we have enjoyed his valuable speech. I believe that it will help our students to prepare themselves for future career. We were fascinated hearing various memories from his childhood till today. I have found him as a complete package of academia and industry experience. Thank you all of our honorable guests to be with us for celebrating the IEEE Day. Finally, thank you all committee members to make the program successful. Good night, everyone.
Dr. Masood, can I just interrupt you? Women in engineering is not just for women. Around 40% male members are women in engineering members. The terminology is diversity and inclusion. The way you support your wife, the way you support your daughter, the way you support your mother, your sister. So the way I support my male student, the way Dr. Mujahid supports his female student, the same concept is women in engineering. Any IEEE member can take women in engineering membership. It's like a society, okay? And for undergraduate student, this membership is free. And any male and female, now my election is over, no problem. It's not I'm telling for my benefit. I'm telling for the bigger perspective so that IIUC can have highest WA student branch membership, inshallah. So It takes only 2 minutes to add to your profile. It's free does not mean that you don't need to add it. You have to add it. But for a professional member like us, it is $6.25 or $12.5, as if we are adding a society. But for graduate student and for undergraduate student, it is free. So please inspire your student, male or female, to embrace this membership so that you can have
a good it definitely, ma'am.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you. You know,
my speech is finished, ma'am. Thank you very much.
On this note, sorry to interrupt once again. On this note, I would like to add our IEEE Day ambassador, Mushfiqur Rahman, and Arafat is also our WI member, WI Affinity Group member. Just to add the context. Now, finally, I would like to add that there is a feedback form in the chat box which our participants need to fill out in order to get the participation certificate. And I would like to express once again my heartiest gratitude to our keynote speaker, aka Mujahidul Islam sir, our guest of honor and speaker, Professor Dr. Celia Shahnaz ma'am, our special guest and speaker, Dr. Sujata Chakraborty ma'am, our special guest, Mr. Tanfir Hasan sir, and session chair, Dr. Engineer Abdul Qadir Muhammad Masoom sir. We are really honored to have you among us. Without your support and belief, we wouldn't have been able to pull off the event successfully. Thank you so much for joining us today within your busy schedules. Also, our kind gratitude to the audience, especially our participants and executives, to bear with us during this webinar. We have come at the end of our session. I wish all of our participants have achieved technical and academic knowledge and the inspiration to work further for this event. Thank you all for joining us. Assalamu alaikum and have a very pleasant night.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum and thank you very much, Dr. Masoom. Thank you so much.
Mujahid, thank you very much. আসার জন্য ধন্যবাদ।
ধন্যবাদ।
আমি কিন্তু ওখানকার গ্র্যাজুয়েট। ইউ
তাই